Today, we're talking about the economy and the mindset and everything that's kind of going on with that. How's your head with everything that's going on? What is this doing to your hope for your finances? The economy right now is like screaming at everybody, right? You go on social media, you listen to the news, and you see it everywhere how prices have gone up in the last 4 years, 3 and 4 years, compared to where they were before 2020. Our economy is like freaking out and everything's pricey, rates are high, and yeah, we all see this, right? Everywhere you go. I don't know, no, I know about you. I don't know you all personally, but I know you're seeing the same crap that I do. You see what's happening in the economy. You see what's happening in the world. And then you've got this person like bickering and like all these people are arguing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, just stop. And so you do, right? It just like hurts your head. So what do? How do you mentally know that things are going to be okay with the economy? How do you get to a point with the mindset that you're going to be okay? I mean, are you thinking things like maybe some of the other women that I've talked to, and, you know, I've got kids in sports, I've got this going on, I'm retired, but I have all these activities. How the heck am I going to be able to afford things? And it doesn't kind of weigh on you. I've talked to many women who are having sleepless nights that don't know what they're going to do for their groceries. I mean, literally, people are struggling. I want to just share a little story, and this is not my story, but it's something that I witnessed and I saw. I was at Walmart, and there was a woman at Walmart. I was at the self-checkout, you know how those go. And a lot of the time you have all your self-checkouts, right? And usually there's one or two employees that work at Walmart that are kind of standing there helping, you know, other people that maybe don't know what they're doing at the checkout line. There was this woman there, and she had to be, I noticed her, she worked there. She's like, I bet she had to be 70 years old. She had silver shiny hair, nice looking lady. And a guy was at her counter, you know, the self-checkout. She was helping him. And I heard him say to her, he must have known her, because why would you ask this if he didn't know her? He said, "Why are you working here?" And she said, "I will never be able to retire." My back was to them, and you guys, I about cried right there. I got choked up. It still chokes me up. She's a woman out there having to work. And maybe she wants to work, because let's be honest, we still all want to do something. We want to be part of the community. We want to feel that we are contributing or that we are getting out of our house, because the four walls sometimes can make us bat, S-H-I-T, crazy, right? So, but she didn't say that. She said, "I will never be able to not work." So imagine her life. She's 70 years old. She doesn't have the freedom to choose if she can work or not. She has to work, or she doesn't probably get groceries, or she doesn't get whatever she needs for gas to put in her car, whatever. Imagine this as you, or imagine it as your mom, your sister. These are people that are struggling, and it's not just women, or it's everybody. We're all feeling this burden, right? We're feeling the burden. We're feeling the pinch big time. Some stats that I found and have listened to, they said that 12 million renters spent over 50% of their income on rent since 2020. 50%. You guys, that is ridiculous. And it was 22 million spent 30%. So I had to copy it down, because I'm like, I need the numbers. I'm a factual person, but I'm also very passionate. You can hear the passion in my voice. The median sale price of a house is 5 times more. House prices are 45% higher than they were in 2020. Average family is having to spend, since 2022, an extra $784 a month. Well, and since 2021, it's $1,000 more a month. And I can testify, I am not a family. I am an individual woman, but I know I'm spending a lot more. Groceries, gas, like it's all of us, right? So those are painful things, right? So what do you do with that? What do you do with this weight that is like, ugh, how the heck, stressing out, and what is it doing to your body when you're stressing out? So we have so many things that we can do. We can look at our budget. We can cut where we can. We can't stop completely living, We can't cut out everything. But a lot of us need to reevaluate our budget. We need to reevaluate our income. Those are two logical things, right? If you can't pick, because let's be honest, the income that we're making at our day jobs, that's not keeping up. It's not increasing with the debt that is jacking up everywhere. We can reduce debt. A big part of overall wellness for a woman is financial wellness. So, and it's not just the money, right? We need financial wellness. And let's be honest, back in when we're taught in school, unless that's changed, and I don't know that it has because I'm pretty sure I would have heard about it, we don't learn about how to budget when we're in high school or even college. We don't learn those things. We don't learn how to balance our checkbooks. What we're spending our money on is what's important to us, right? Or we obviously have to spend money on things, but some of us maybe have made some stupid decisions and bought things we shouldn't. Well, guess what? Then we do put it on these little, what do they call them? Credit cards, right? Yeah, and guess what happens then? If you have a credit card that bears interest and you don't have enough money to pay that credit card, it just keeps weighing you down. And that can affect your health, your mental, it affects and drags us down, right? So we need to shift things. We need to reevaluate, talk to your financial advisor, go out on Google and check out their spreadsheets that you can literally find for budgeting. But I do have a lot of experience with learning how to rebudget. I have a lot of experience with getting out of credit card debt. I'm not completely out, but I've learned a lot. I also got certified to be helping with consistency. But if there are things that over and above, like I'm going to refer you out to, like, if you need somebody to help you figure out why you're spending too much money or why you think you need to go buy a new pair of shoes just because they're super hot and sexy, I love new shoes too all the time, but we make choices and we choose, and it really comes down to what's important to us. So what I do is refer you out if I need to people, but I can help you stay accountable. But it really is about the mindset. The shift, you don't change unless your mindset changes, right? How does that happen? Experience, learning how, muddling through until you figure it out. And you can do it yourself. It might take longer, and that's okay. If you want to take a little longer, that's fine, but I have a lot of ideas that can help with that. I talked about the weighing of how we're feeling and what it's doing to you. If you start getting into this, like, oh my God, the economy's so bad, and it's going to just, like, what am I going to do? Guess what? We start losing hope. We start losing faith in people, humanity, and like the government, and we're not going there because this is not a political conversation. There's just so much that we can do, though, to keep our mindset together. I will share the crap that I have been through without going into details. My girlfriends or my close friends know my heart in that. But when it comes to my coaching business, I will share how I went from this to this. And it's not about me and what I did, but I do share that. Because guess what? Who wants to work with somebody or get coached by someone that hasn't done it themselves? Nobody. You're not going to have success. You're not going to have that skill. And let me tell you, if I can come out of the places I've come out of and get to where I am, you can too. We are women, and we are strong, and we need to take care of ourselves first and foremost. And as a mom, as a sister, I never, when you have kids at home, yes, we focus on the kids. We focus on the kids, right? But guess what happens then, you guys? We lose who we are as people. And it's okay to have that sometimes, but keep the balance. Even when you have young kids at home, even when you have teenagers at home, find people in your life that lift you up, not in a rah-rah cheerleader way. I am not your cheerleader. No offense, but that's not why I'm here. I'm not a cheerleader. I'm not going to be like, yes, you can do it. Like, I'm going to hold your feet to the fire a little bit if you work with me. I'm going to challenge you, because if you are not challenging yourself every day, you are doing daily things to get your mind in the right place, to get your actions in the right place. Because our head can be we can pray all we want. Like, this is a Christian. Most of the women here are probably Christian, because if you weren't, you probably wouldn't be in this group, because you'd be like, why does she talk about God all the time? Or why does she talk about faith all the time? Like, this isn't for me. So I have a feeling a lot of you have some sort of faith. Maybe it's not Christianity, maybe it's spirituality, whatever it is. It is faith. I know where my faith comes from. I will not share that. It's just part of who I am. I truly believe that without that, you will never, I will never, she will never be the person that they're meant to be. So faith is a huge part of it. And even when you're in the pits, you can still have faith. If you're going through a really, really depressing time right now, this is not a good time to start working with a coach. You need to get through some of that. And then once you start getting up, that would be a good time to start looking at talking with a coach. But you might need a counselor at that point if you're really depressed. You might need to speak with a pastor. So, and it's so important. I've done both of those things myself, you guys. But even, this is me being vulnerable again, even when I was in the pits of, I will just say hell. I was in the pits of hell. People were throwing shit at me that I loved, like, more than anything. And you guys, I could have given up. I've never not wanted to live, but I have thought, and I know that there are women that have thought, what am I here for? But even when that was happening, those thoughts were not going through my head because of something that I changed in my life about 6 or 7 years ago. I started growing my faith. I started doing daily accountability to myself, who I am. Self-care became a priority for me. And it's not funny, but I talk about it. It's interesting, or it's, I don't know, it's amazing how when life knocks you down again, because you guys, we all have great things in our life, and then we have really, really, really hard things. And the couch, it becomes your friend, right? The pizza, the booze, whatever it is that somebody is going to and using as a vice, it becomes that thing. But because I had done that self-care years ago, and I had been accountable, faith with action. Yeah, I felt bad for myself. I was crying on the couch years later when I got beat down again. Emotional pain and emotional trauma can be hard. And if you're going through that right now, please find somebody to talk to. But that faith, you guys, got stronger even in the pits. So that's what happened. Change the daily habits, do the action. You know what your faith, I'm just going to say it like it is. You know what God is calling you to do, right? You know if God is calling you to stay home with your children. You know if God is calling you to work outside in this beautiful, amazing weather. You know what you're called to do. You're an entrepreneur like myself. I have a full-time job because I have to. I'm so grateful for it, but I am beyond hopeful and grateful that God put me in my business, that I can help other women here as a coach. But there again, that was faith for me and action on my part. It doesn't happen without both. And if it weren't for my other business, my financial income or my life, it would look a lot different. So I'm so grateful for that. And people need help with, maybe it's a side gig that God has been like, I've heard somebody talking, I should talk to her. I would advise you on one thing. If you are looking at a side gig or another way to make income, if somebody cannot actually show you a paycheck, do not buy in. I've been down the road, and that's just one piece of advice I'm going to offer. I've been down the road, and there are great companies out there, but I like a privately held company, and I want something that is a residual, repeat income, and because it gives you hope. It gives me, transparency is huge. There's a lot of companies out there, you guys, and you guys see it too on social media. People are blasting garbage out there. And they're like, oh, the highlight reel, right? Everything looks all rosy in their personal life. My family's wonderful. My life is wonderful. My business that I'm doing is wonderful. And I'm like, that's awesome. I would love to know about your business. And can you show me a paycheck? And I say that because I got my ass burned in other companies. And I don't want other women to go through that. I wanted to be able for somebody to show me, can you show me your paycheck? And when somebody could show me their paycheck without me having to buy in, because I was broke, I wasn't like, sleeping on the streets or anything, but I didn't have extra money. I needed something that I could do, that I could make money, receive a paycheck, and not have to, be running around town and selling products and doing all the crap. But if that's what you want to do, have at it. It's not my jam anymore. I got burnt. I went into credit card debt. I talked about credit card debt. There's a reason I have credit card debt. I do believe you have to invest in yourself, you guys. But if you're investing, if you're putting money on a credit card, do it for an asset that makes you money, right? Another financial piece of wisdom that I have learned in the last probably 2 years, 1 year, maybe 2 years. That's a piece I learned the hard way. We all have credit card debt. I can't say that mine's because I went out and I bought a brand new couch or I had to have the finest of these things. It's because I tried different businesses and I got burned. And I don't want other women to get burned. So anyway, use your head. Talk to somebody you can trust. If it's not me, that's okay. If I can refer you out, if you are thinking about a particular business and you're like, or maybe a particular side gig. If you want a waitressing job, those are great cash jobs. I've done that before too, and man, it's great. Cash is king, right? But it's tiring. It's exhausting, especially when you have another job on top of it. It's like, oh my God, I don't have any energy left at the end of the day, but you have to. So we add income, we take away debt. We take away things we don't need. What are things you don't need? So I love that I can help people here with the mental, like the strategies, the how-tos, the things like that. I love that I have this other avenue that I can help people make an income and just live healthier too. And, without even having to add to their budget. And that's a big deal. Feels really good to me to be able to offer that to people. I talk tactics, but I also really speak from my heart. And there are people out there that are really struggling with how am I going to do this? What we do know is things that we can do to help ourselves, our family, with our head, with our faith, with walking forward, with faith in action, and going to do the things that you need to do to keep your mindset and the peace to be able to sleep at night so you're not stressing about the finances. How am I going to do it? Where am I going to find the time to be able to do it? Maybe you just have pockets in your day like myself. One thing that's really cool as a woman, if you guys are looking at entrepreneurship, whether that looks like just a little bit of dabbling or like you want to make enough money or have the time freedom that you want, there are businesses out there that you can do. There are people you can talk to. Whatever it is that you're looking at, if God's tapping, because you will know. You will know, because God, when He wants you to move, He's going to make you move, right? And sometimes it's forced, and sometimes it's not welcome. It's not what you're praying for. It's the exact opposite, right? Well, how can I laugh about that? What's so funny, right? You're probably thinking that. Some of you are probably like, that's not funny. That's where I'm at right now. You know why I can laugh and chuckle? Because if you don't, it is really not going to be a good thing for you long term, you know. And you might not be able to laugh right now, sometimes, or smile about it, but later. This is why I can smile, I can chuckle, I can talk openly about the crap that I've been through. But you know what? There's a saying, and I just speak, I'm a Christian, and I swear, you go from shit to shine, right? And you come out stronger, and it can be personally, professionally, you figure things out, but you will never, and I will never, unless it comes down to committing to yourself, committing to your action, and having the faith and taking the steps to make it happen. I talk to so many people, and we can offer them help. And, you know, women don't want help, right? But let's be honest, we all need help. We all need a little bit of help, even though we don't want to admit it. We all need somebody that supports us, that's a mentor. The joy, the happiness, the energy that you put out will come back to you. It might not be from the person that you're putting it out to, but it will come back somewhere else. And that's a faith that has grown stronger in me because I have learned that it's true. I've seen it happen in my life. I've poured into other people that I absolutely love that completely crapped all over me. It was totally horrible. But I came from there and I got up. Remember I said, if you need a counselor, if you need a pastor, go talk to a pastor. That's amazing. We all need that. But if you're coming out and you're doing good and you want to grow and you want to move forward, that's when things start to shift, right? You take the action, you do it.